Straight all day.
Tuned into the show where you learn the discipline to show up day after day, to do the work, the confidence to put yourself out there boldly and authentically, and the mental toughness to continue showing up, doing the work, putting yourself out there, even when the success you've expected to achieve has yet to be achieved. And on top of all this, you get a huge dose of personal initiative. What is that? That's the go-getter energy that moves any one of us, including yourself, to go and make things happen instead of waiting for things to happen. And then we put all this together into a series of frameworks, approaches, insights, strategies, and techniques, all underneath the umbrella of one unifying philosophy that is called Work on Your Game. My name is Baldwin, also known as Dre All Day, and welcome to the show. And today's topic is what to be productive at. Yes, so being productive is a thing, but now where are we going to focus that productivity is the next question. We're going to answer that here today. Before we start, let me tell you, I have a daily motivation text I send out free of charge every single day. Also, that's the line where I want you to text me today and tell me the best insight you got from today's masterclass. Here's the number, 305-384-6894. It's listed down below in the show notes. Secondly, the next step for you to go deeper into the work on your game world, you're ready to get serious about your personal development, your professional development, making more money in your business, getting more consistent, more disciplined, more strategic, more focused, and more confident in everything that you do, go to workonyourgameuniversity.com, get enrolled in the university, get access to all my courses, all my exclusive trainings, get my 2 physical mailings I send out every month, and you have a chance to get into my coaching programs. It's all at workonyourgameuniversity.com. Now let's get into the topic, what to be productive at. Now I was doing a live stream about productivity a couple days ago from when I'm recording this, and I was talking about why people come up short with their production. And I made these 3 points within one of the points that I was making. And I decided, it'd be a good idea to make a whole masterclass just on those 3 points alone. So here we are. That's where this came from. So let's get into it. What do you need to be productive at? Basically, I'm going to give you a 3-part framework for deciding whether or not it makes sense for you to tell yourself, hey, I need to be more productive at this thing. So if you're looking at thing X and deciding if you should get more productive at it, I want you to know that you need to check yes on all 3 of the points I'm going to make here today. And if you check yes on all 3, then you should find ways to get more productive at that thing. But if you do not check yes on all 3, then you need to find something else to which you do check yes on all 3 to get more productive at. Got it? So you need all 3 of these, like a combination line. Point number 1. Topic once again is what to be productive at. Number 1, it must matter. This is the most important one. All of them matter. They're all important, but this is the most important one. The thing that you're going to be productive at, you must be doing productive work at something that actually matters if you're productive at it. So don't be productive at something that doesn't matter. We just talked about this yesterday. The topic was you're focused on the wrong numbers. Many times people focus on being productive at things that don't really matter. One of them, for example, like we talked about yesterday, is how often you're posting on social media. Now, you might think that matters because you can see the numbers, you can see the vanity metrics, your followers, subscribers, likes, comments, etc., the comments posted on social media. But how many of those followers, subscribers, likes, and commentators are actually buying anything from you? Oh, you think that over time, if they keep liking and commenting, they may eventually buy something. They might, but many of them never do. Many of them are freeloaders. I told you the biggest jump in business from $0 to $1. Just because somebody likes and comments on your stuff does not mean they will spend any money with you. Trust me. All right, social media is designed to keep people right there in that spot. They don't want them leaving social media. It's designed to keep them there, by the way. Okay, so the first thing is it has to matter. All right, being productive, everybody, is not just about being active. It's not just about getting a whole bunch of things done, believe it or not. That is not what productivity is about. Productivity is about getting a bunch of things done that actually matter to the bottom line of your business or your job or whatever role you happen to be filling. Let me say that sentence one more time. Being productive is about getting things done that actually matter to the bottom line of your business or the job or the role that you happen to be filling. So in order for you to know if you are being productive, first of all, you need to know what your bottom line is. What is your bottom line? In other words, what business are you in? If you don't know what business you're in, then it doesn't really matter what you are producing and how productive you are in it. Episode 1273, the topic is, what business are you in? Episode 2130, I talked about it again. What business are you in? I talked about it more than once. I'll probably talk about it again in the future. You need to know what business you're in. Because if you don't know what business you're in, then it doesn't really matter what you produce and how much activity you put into it, because you may be flying blind. Well, actually, you are flying blind. And sometimes when you're flying blind, you end up in the right place by luck. But you don't want to get anywhere by luck. We want to be strategic and systematic about what we're doing. So that's how you know if something matters. I remind you of episode 2167 that there's a difference between being right and being accurate. Accuracy is about whatever is getting you closer to achieving the desired outcome. But if you don't know the desired outcome, then you can't be accurate. It's impossible. So every day you should know the desired outcome of your work. When you know the answer to that, then your productivity only matters if and when you are doing things that are getting you closer to that thing, not just doing things and checking them off your to-do list just to say that you check things off the to-do list. I could put 30 items on the to-do list right now that I can get them all done and feel very active and tired at the end of the day, but did I do anything that moved me closer to achieving my bottom line desired results? If the answer is no, then I just did a whole bunch of work that did not matter. And this is how somebody can be busy but not productive. So if you spend 3 days of your day organizing your shoe closet, filing papers, and washing dishes, yes, you are productive, but did those things matter to the bottom line of your business? Point number 2. Today's topic, once again, is what to be productive at. So the first thing is you have to be doing something that matters. Here's the second thing you got to do. Do something that you actually like doing. And I'm going to tell you why this matters. Because maybe you've been told or you heard from somebody that sometimes you're going to do some things that you don't really like doing, but they have to be done, which is true. But let me explain my point out here. I strongly suggest that if you are aiming for higher levels of productivity, you be productive at something that you actually enjoy. Why? For one, you will give more energy to it when you're doing something that you enjoy. Another reason, you will give more of your attention to something that you enjoy. Another reason is you will produce at a higher level, because usually we produce at high levels at things that we actually have skill at, and we like things that we are actually good at, and we produce more when we're doing something that we enjoy. Right? We'll actually stay later and come earlier. I know how to, for example, edit audio. I know how to edit audio. So I can take the audio that I'm recording right now and I could edit it myself if I wanted to, for example, but I don't enjoy editing audio. So I have somebody else handle the editing of my audio. If I needed to, I know how to take some audio or video and transcribe it so I can have it textually, but I don't like doing that. So you know what I do? I use applications and services and other people to do that for me if and when I need it done. When you're doing things that you like to do, it usually shows in the results of your work. Would you agree? Would you agree that you can see a difference in the results of work when you're doing something you like versus when you're doing something that you hate, or doing something that you tolerate, or something that you kind of push yourself through because you're supposed to do it or you have to do it? Can we agree that there's a different outcome when you're doing something you enjoy versus something that you don't? Even if you get it done either way? All right. The whole point is, while there are times in your career and in your days that you will have to do things that you don't really like doing. All right, this happens. It happens to everyone. I wrote a whole book about it called The Third Day. It shouldn't be that often. All right, this should not be all the time. All right, you shouldn't be looking at a whole day's worth of things that you don't like to do every single day. If every day you're waking up and doing a whole bunch of stuff that you don't like to do, then you need to take a long, hard look and give a in-depth evaluation into your career, your job, your vocation, whatever you've chosen, however you decide to set things up in your life. You shouldn't be spending a whole day doing a whole bunch of stuff that you don't like doing. All right, that's a bad setup. I don't like that structure. I don't like that. I don't like things being set up that way. I don't think you do either. If you absolutely hate everything that you're doing every single day at work, you need to get a new job. Or you need to change the structure of what you're doing at your job. If that is happening to you, you have a strategic and structural challenge. That is not a discipline challenge. It's not a discipline challenge if you're doing a bunch of stuff that you hate and you're pushing yourself to do it every day. The challenge is the challenge is not I need to be more disciplined so I can do this stuff that I hate. No, the challenge is you need to change the structure of what you're doing so that you are not having to do stuff that you hate. I mean, isn't that a good idea? I mean, you only get one life here, folks. You shouldn't be spending your whole life doing a bunch of stuff that you hate doing, especially if it's your work, in which we spend half of our waking lives, and those of you who are ambitious, probably even more than that. Point number 3. Today's topic, once again, is what to be productive at. You should not be productive at everything. So we got our first 2 points, is that you're doing something the first point was something that actually matters. It leads to the bottom line result. You know what that is. Secondly, it's something that you actually like because you will have more energy for it. And the third one is something that you're actually good at. You got to actually be good at the thing that you're doing. I don't want to see anybody being productive at something that they're not good at. And nobody wants to see that, as a matter of fact. Who's gonna pay for that? No, who's gonna pay for it? I mean, we already went to the first point. You're doing something that actually matters. So you're working on something that affects the bottom line of your business. But if you're not good at the thing that you're working at, then yeah, it's going to affect your bottom line in a negative way. I don't think that's what you want. I don't think you want that kind of effect. You want a positive effect, right? So if you're mediocre at something you should probably not produce too much of that thing. You need to fire yourself from that job and do a job that you're actually good at. Now, if you're mediocre and you're working on your game, you're trying to get better, then that I understand. You need to take the time to get better, but you need to get better. You need to get good before you actually allow your efforts to affect the bottom line of your business. Because if you're mediocre at something, well, ain't nobody paying for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Mediocrity. Nobody pays for mediocre, folks. So if you're mediocre at something, and this is where you got to be honest with yourself, and or you need to get around some people who have the license to be honest with you. If you're mediocre at something, you need to be fired from that job so that you can go do a job that you are actually good at. Episode 2084, I told you when and how to fire yourself. And there are times to fire yourself. All right, you should not just force yourself as a square peg into a round hole. When you're not good at a job, you got to fire yourself. So I fired myself when I first started this show, this podcast. I fired myself from the audio editing job before I even had it. I preemptively fired myself, and I hired somebody immediately to do the audio editing for this show because I knew I didn't want to do it. And any other job that I either decide I'm not good at it, I don't like it, or is not affecting my bottom line strongly enough that I need to be doing it, I fire myself and I get somebody else on the job. Whether I'm firing myself actively or firing myself preemptively. I'm firing myself before the thing even began. So for example, I'm going to get someone to do some graphic design stuff for me. I'm not even going to try to do it. I'm firing myself before I even get the job so somebody else can do that job, because all I'm going to produce is either mediocrity is one outcome that I'll probably produce. Another outcome is I can produce really high quality stuff, but I don't like doing it. So I don't want to spend my whole day doing that because I don't like doing it. So you see how this works? This is why you got to have the combination of all three of these. The world does not pay for mediocrity. Let me tell you what it does pay for. It pays for high level outputs that are a result of high level performance. That's what the world pays for. This is why you need to know what your money skills are. Your money skills are your skills. These are your top 2 or 3 abilities, maybe even 1 ability, no more than 3. Abilities that you are best at and are marketable, i.e. you can make money from them. Top 3 things that you are best at and you can make money from. Intersection between the two. You need to know what your money skills are. And that's where most of your time, attention, energy, and focus should be going, towards your money skills. And everything else, you should either be offloading or looking for ways to offload it. You should be actively looking for how do I get this off my hands so I can focus on these 2 or 3 things that I'm amazing at and that I can make money from. My money skills are writing, speaking, and direct communication. Writing and speaking are forms of communication. And when I say direct communication, I mean talking directly to a human being, like a face-to-face conversation or a Zoom call. Those are the 3 things that I should be doing. I should be writing something, speaking like I'm doing right now. I'm speaking to you all through this microphone, or doing like coaching calls, working with somebody one-on-one, standing on the stage, direct communication. That's it. Those are my money skills. Anything else that I'm doing, I'm asking myself, is there a way to offload this and give this task to someone else, or delete this task to where I'm not doing it at all so that I can focus on my 2 or 3 money skills? That's what I'm asking myself anytime I'm doing other things. You should be doing the same thing, but you got to know what your money skills are. If you don't know, then you can't do this. So, knowing that you are a high-level performer at something, the question is, are you spending the majority of your time and energy doing that thing, or are you trying to force yourself into something that you're just not good at? That's the question. Now, how do you know if you're good at something? This is a good term. Many people think they're good at stuff when they're not actually good at it. Now, my background's in sports, so I would hear from basketball players all the time who go try out for the basketball team, get cut from the basketball team on the first day, and then come to me and give me some sob story that they were the best player at tryouts, but they got cut on the first day. I say, well, you and the coach were clearly watching 2 different movies on the same screen. If you got cut on the first day, but you were the best player, that doesn't make any sense. So you can't lie to yourself about what you're actually good at. So let me give you a way of measuring whether you're good at something. Okay? Excuse me. Remember what we talked about in the 12 Work on Your Game Commandments episodes? The open market commandment. This is how you know if you're good at something. What is the open market telling you about your level of production and performance in a specific area? That's how you know if you're good. Is the open market asking for you? Is the open market demanding you? Does the open market want you? When you were available on the open market, what was the open market offering in order to procure your services, your goods, your offer? These are the questions you should ask yourself to know if you're good or not. If the open market is not offering anything to you, then you're not good at what you do. You're not. Doesn't mean you can't become good. Doesn't mean that you will become good necessarily either. But if the open market is not offering you anything, then you're not good, because the open market is telling you. All right, we are in a results-based business, people, and the result is, what is the market saying? That's why the open market commandment is one of the 12 work on your game commandments. If the open market is giving you crickets or anything less than what you consider to be an acceptable response, that may be a loud and clear message that you are doing something that you are simply not very good at. And listen, the thing that you're not good at may not be the main thing. So let's say that you wrote a book and you're an amazing writer. You're like Stephen King, J.K. Rowling level of writer. You put your book out and you get crickets from the open marketplace. Does that mean that you're a terrible writer? No, because the only way somebody will even know the quality of your writing is they have to actually buy and read the book first. So no, it's not that you're a terrible writer. It may mean that you suck at marketing. It may mean that you suck at selling. It may mean that your title sucks, because that's how people are judging the book, by the title of the book or the cover of the book. It may mean that you suck at pre-planning your marketing activities, whatever they happen to be, because clearly they're not working because nobody's buying your book. So you got to make sure you're asking the right question. You're identifying the right problem. This is another thing I talk about all the time, is we got to make sure we're identifying the right issue before we start fixing things. So you don't want to fix the wrong problem. Now you got two problems and you don't even know which one is the actual problem because you misdiagnosed yourself from the very beginning. This is why asking the right question matters so much. This is why getting experts around you, people who know things that you don't know, matters so much, because they can see what you can't see, and they will help you come up with the right question to ask, even if neither of you have the right answer. We call that insight. Getting the right question even when you don't have the answer. Let's recap today's class, which is what to be productive at. You need all three of these together. Number one, thing you're being productive at must matter. It's not that you're just doing something that you can be active at or something that you can check off the box and say that you got it done. We got to be accurate about what is actually getting you to your desired outcome, your bottom line outcome. If you don't know what your bottom line outcome is, then we can't answer this question, and therefore you should not continue. Point number two, something that you actually like doing. You will give more energy, you'll give more attention, you'll have more verve, and you usually will produce a higher level of output when you're doing something you enjoy. And if you find yourself doing things that you don't like too much, that is not a discipline challenge, that's a strategic and structural challenge. Number three, doing something you're good at. How do you know if you're good at something? The open marketplace will tell you if you're good, because it will demand you, it will ask for you, and it will give you returns that you ask for. If you are not getting those things from the open marketplace, that is because you are simply not good at something. And until you identify what that something is that you're not good at, you will continue to suffer and continue to have problems. The challenge for many people is that they identify the wrong problem, then you fix the wrong thing. Now you've multiplied your problems and you don't even know what the actual issue is, because you don't know what you don't know. Again, this is why you invest in coaching. This is why you invest in training. This is why you join masterminds, so you can learn what you don't know. But you got to get out of your own head, get out of your own ego, and realize that there are things that you simply don't know. You're ignorant of. We can cure your ignorance, but you got to first admit that you are ignorant. All that said, text me and let me know the best insight you got from today's class. My number is 305-384-6894. Secondly, your next step is going in and joining Work on Your Game University. Come enroll in the university, get access to my exclusive trainings. You get my 2 physical mailings every single month. You can be coached by me directly, and you get access to all 20 plus courses we have inside the university, immediate access, lifetime access right now. Go to workonyourgameuniversity.com. Work on your game. Dre all day.